Hello, and welcome back to another Jerry Does Things video. It is the third Saturday of October where you join us on this rainy day, again in the midst of the autumn season. Just 2 weeks ago, we had filmed at the Reading, Blue Mountain, and Northern Railroad with the intent to chase the famed Blue Pacific on her first Fall Foliage trip of the year. This weekend, we once again returned to the RBM&N. However, this time, to catch the beautifully streamlined, first-generation electromotive diesel A and B F units. Leading the cavalcade will be EMD F9A, number 270. 270 was built in January of 1952 for the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad as F7A, number 937, serving on many different railroads up until she was purchased by Norfolk Southern from Kansas City Southern in October of 2006. During this time, she would also be converted twice, eventually ending up as what we now know as an F9A. Second in the consist, F7B, number 275, was built in October of 1950 for the Chicago Great Western Railroad. Following a similar rail path, she would enter service with 270 in the early 2000s, with Rail Cruise America eventually ending up in the hands of Norfolk Southern. In late 2019, after years of pulling Norfolk Southern's office car special, all of the FA and FB units would be sold off to two different railroads. F9A 271 and F7B 276 would be sold to the Aberdeen, Carolina, and Western Railroad, while the 270 and 275 would end up here, at the Reading and Northern. Today, the F units are hauling a 120-mile round-trip excursion from Reading to Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Acting as a helper engine is electromotive diesel SD50, number 5019, sister engine to Reading and Northern SD50, 5018, seen 2 weeks ago with 425. Our first trackside location, contrary to our trip with 425, will be just outside Reading and Northern Station, located in Port Clinton. If you pay attention, we had also been here last year. First to appear would be the two rail diesel cars. These units began their journey in Pottsville and had joined up in Port Clinton for the trip to Jim Thorpe. Tagging along on this train would be the newly acquired coach from the Rio Grande Scenic Railroad, which as of recent has gone out of business. No new paint was put on this car since its arrival, as it shines out from the rest of the maroon consist. Racing the train north, we would catch up to the F units in the small town of New Ringgold. We would set up here along the local town market and gas station. We would next catch up to the train in the middle of Ryan Township. Here, at East Mahoney Junction, the Reading and Northern branches west to Mount Carmel. Getting closer to Jim Thorpe, we would post on Paradise Road, just before the famous tunnel shot in Nescahoning. As part of the trip, the brakes had been used heavily, as we were able to see the smoke pouring from the trucks on each coast of the consist. After a lunch break and a bit of scouting work, we would once again post in Nescahoning along Tippett's Road for the return to Reading. First on the plate would be the two RDCs, far ahead of the F units. Finally, the F unit consist would appear. Oddly enough, the engineer would not be pushing the train fast through here, as per the usual. Putting the pedal to the metal, we would next decide to race the train to Tamaqua. However, seeing the train had suddenly stopped, we would divert our attention to a small crossing along Lake Drive. It was here we would learn why the train would have been stopped. As it would turn out, a tree had fallen over the rails just before the crossing. My guess was that someone had called to the railroad in advance, as the RDCs had not collided with the aforementioned tree. Despite finding a decent spot to film the oncoming traffic, we would not stay here for the train. Instead, we would race to our original target of Tamaqua Station. However, once again, the train had to be slowed due to what I believe would be the windy and rainy weather. So we would see the RDCs again. Unfortunately, or possibly fortunately, due to technical problems, Tamaqua Station would be our unplanned final stop and the chase would end. Thanks for joining us on this quite rainy adventure. Keep an eye out for a couple more videos on the Redding and Northern this month as the fall foliage season wraps up. And as always, thank you for watching.